A lot of the times, expectations can be everything. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. All right, guys, now we have Wayward, the latest limited TV miniseries that is streaming on Netflix. This is coming in at 8 episodes, each running about 40 to 45 minutes, being described as drama, mystery, and thriller. Now, the creator of this was Mae Martin. This is what they look like right here. And if you see the page, based in the UK, Mae Martin is an award-winning Canadian comedian and writer whose most recent stand-up show, Dope, focused on addiction and was nominated for the main Edinburgh Comedy Award while earning 4 and 5-star national reviews. I thought it was interesting that it mentions that they are a comedian. I'm going to be bringing that up in the review. And also, they are non-binary. Now, I normally don't ever bring up someone's gender identification when I'm talking about their filmography, the creator, writer, director of a movie or TV series, but there is a good point where I'm doing that, and we'll talk about that in the review as well. But this is what they look like if we scroll down and look at their filmography. Benefits with Friends, Feel Good, Baroness von Sketch Show, Comedians of the World, John Richardson, The Ultimate Warrior. If you are a fan of Mae Martin or seen any of their past work, please let me know down in the comment section below. Now, when it comes to my expectations for this series, Wayward, they were super duper high, to be honest with you. I was nervous. I was scared going in, like, oh my gosh, is this going to be one of those series that's really creepy and thrilling and makes my skin crawl, and everybody's going to be talking about it online like, hey, you seen that new series Wayward? Oh my God, you got to check it out right now. That's the next big Squid Games or something. Like, seriously, that's how I was kind of going into this. Like, when I was leading up to it, I think it was the poster that got me, where it says, welcome to Tall Pines. We think you'll be very happy here. And it has the forest with the green door. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then you have Tony Collette on another poster. I was like, you know what? They are doing a great job with this marketing right here. What is Tall Pines about? It's some spooky, demonic, sinister stuff going on. Okay, we got to peel back the curtains. That's what I was thinking. I just knew that this was going to be a banger. So whether it is or not, we're just going to have to see. We're going to talk about it. But before I get into all the nitty gritty, before I talk about all my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this Netflix mini TV series, Wayward, is all about. A bucolic but sinister town explores the insidious intricacies of the troubled teen industry and the internal struggle of the next generation. Now, if you want a series to just grab your attention as soon as you start off, take notes, because I thought Wayward did a great job at that. There's a character at the very beginning trying to escape this facility, and you're over here wondering as an audience member, what the hell is going on? Why is this character so terrified? They're running for their life. This is supposed to be Tall Pines. They have commercials on VHS tapes and brochures and all this information that just seems so pleasant to live on the countryside. But what is going on behind the scenes, underground? What are the nefarious things that are up and about? So out of all the episodes, it did keep my interest until the end of wanting to know exactly what is going on. Who is pulling all the strings? Who is the Wizard of Oz, if there is one or not? So I'll give the series credit as far as that's concerned. Another great thing about this series is the antagonists. Not just one or two. They gave you a whole team, a whole fleet of just disgusting individuals that will make your skin crawl, nails on a chalkboard. And they come from all completely different walks from life. These bad guys, these antagonists, these group of people that you want to lose, they are the counselors. They are the supervisors of this Tall Pines Teen Troubled Academy. But it seems like they have problems themselves, even sometimes more than the teens. I wanted to check them into the facility and throw away the key with the way that they were acting, the dressing, just across the board nastiness. You have this one character that is one of the most delusional human beings I've ever seen in my entire life. There's another character by the name of Stacy. Oh my goodness gracious, she will make your blood boil. King Cobra as far as snitching. It's like she gets a power-up off of tattletelling. And there's just something so detestable about her character. I was watching it, and I promise I said to myself, I said, you know what? I bet she collects her own farts and then sniffs him annually each year on her birthday. That's just the way that she came across. But then you have another character. He wants to be the wannabe big jock that got all the girls in high school and was the leader of the football team. But you know he didn't get any of that. He is a true bully and still has a lot of insecurities and is just taking it out on these little troubled teens. Again, the counselors are worse than the actual teens in this facility in Tall Pines, and they definitely deserve to get their butt whooped. If you just want somebody to hate, if you want somebody to throw all of your frustration towards for 8 episodes, go ahead and tune in to Wayward on Netflix, because they give you a whole gargantuan group of ugly individuals that just deserve a ton of slapping. And on top of that, just the casting overall, I thought was very fitting for each character on the antagonist and the protagonist, and whether I liked them or not, they did a great job there. We have another actor by the name of Brandon J. McLaurin, and it took me about 3 episodes in to where I was like, where do I know this guy from? I recognize him, but I just really can't put my finger on it. He was in the show Snowfall. He was a corrupt cop by the name of Buckley. I hated him in that series, just a detestable, evil man. And that is somewhat the same in this series, Wayward, as well. And he's also on the antagonist side. So I was like, wow, they did a great job of just grabbing somebody else that I hated from another show and just throwing them in this show, and I have the same emotions, I have the same feelings. Some performers, actors, entertainers out there, they can be typecast. They just have that structure of a villain or a bad guy or a good guy. And I have to be honest with you, Mr. Brandon J. McLaurin here, he does fit that. I had a great time turning up my nose at him in this series because I just didn't like him at all. And that just goes to show how great of a job he did while he was performing on camera. Yeah, his name in this was Dwayne Andrews, and I did not like him. And the leader of the bunch, the one that you hate the most, is Miss Toni Collette right here. Actress, producer, director, legend in the game in Hollywood. She has been acting for a long time, almost 100 credits. I was about to say I'm pretty sure she has over 100, but pretty much everybody knows Toni Collette. Is she the Wizard of the Oz? Is she the ultimate villain in the series? Well, you'll just have to see. But I will say she did give a compelling performance as well. Just truly disturbed in the mind, thinks that she's right about everything, ultra stubborn, just a rude, crude individual that needs to be put down. I mean, I don't think you should be going around hitting women, but my gosh, I wanted somebody to punch her in the face and break all of the bones in her nose right here, because she deserved it. She deserved it. It's been a while. I can't remember the last time I had so much fun not liking the antagonist. Maybe 1 or 2, but the whole gang here, it was just a fun beat up time mentally for me. The next thing that I liked about the series is one of the main leads that is divided by 3 people. We're going to be talking about one right now, and that is Mae Martin, the creator of the show. They're playing a character by the name of Alex, and favorite character in the whole show. Made me laugh my ass off. That's why I brought up the fact that they were a comedian when I was introducing them for their filmography. But what I loved about his character, just his reaction, his facial expressions when he's getting along with the townsfolk and just trying to have a general understanding of what's going on and how everything works. If I put myself in his shoes, I will be reacting the same way. There's always somebody saying something off the wall, crazy, hoping that it would stick and maybe no one noticed, but Alex is always the one that's catching it like, what the hell did you just say? Well, what did that mean? What was that about? What did you mean by that? That doesn't make any sense. Can you please elaborate? It was just funny, and not intentionally, just a funny situation. Things that are true, things that you can relate to are funny. And also, Alex just was the only person in this whole series that seemed like he had a good sense of logic and deductive reasoning. Like, okay, 2 + 2 is 4, and if we subtract the 1, there's 3. Okay, I'm gonna go this way. A lot of other people didn't think that way, so you're always rooting for Alex, or at least I was. The series is unpredictable. I had no way it was gonna end the way it did. And I also like the sound design and our mixing. They had a little creepy vibe as far as these frogs are concerned and their sound effects. I thought one character was losing their mind, but it was a frog just kind of misplaced, and it was kind of playing with the camera angles. I thought that was very effective. Did it pay off in the end? We'll talk about that in a second. But just the buildup of the frog sound effects and noises, I thought that was a pretty thrilling aspect that added a little weight to the series as well. But unfortunately, guys, that's going to cease on everything that was enjoyable about this series. Everything else just did not work for me. And unfortunately, I don't want to bury the lead. I just did not really enjoy this series. It started to turn into a chore. I didn't want to finish the series. I just wanted to give up, but I felt obligated because Netflix did give me early access, and this honestly did feel like work. It wasn't enjoyable. One of the main reasons is there are 3 main characters, one being Alex. The other 2 are the 2 troubled teens. We have Laura and we also have Abby. They are the poster childs of the ultimate spoiled brat and or white privilege. And excuse me, Laura was not the name of the preteen. That is the name of the wife who was married to Alex in this series. I meant to say Layla. She is the other troubled teen. And there's just no accountability for their actions at all. They continue to make mistakes over and over and over again, just breaking the laws, have no remorse about who they hurt or what they destroy. Now, I also understand that these are children, and children do dumb things. I didn't do these things when I was at their age, but I know at some degree it does exist in the real world. But when you have characters like this in the lead that the audience is supposed to root for, and they never learn their lesson, there just seems like there's no payoff. They just get away with everything. It's not anything that you want to follow. But besides that, there's just nothing that I can relate to. Abby, for instance, she has everything in the world given to her. Privilege on top of privilege on top of privilege. She's disrespectful to her friends. She's disrespectful to her parents. She's just disrespectful in life in general. And it's just rolling by, hoping that everything is just going to be okay because she wants it to. And then Layla is 10 times worse, but she's just a drug-induced fool. I'm watching this saying to myself, will you guys just sit down for 60 seconds and please think something out before you act, because y'all are digging yourself in a hole more and more and more. They were both completely indecisive. Every time they made a decision, they was changing their mind 5 minutes later. And then at one point in the series where they all gathered their strength together and may end up doing something powerful, they make another dumb decision, giving you reason to why they're there in the facility Tall Pines in the first place. Y'all are wanting to escape, but no, you're gonna do something like this with the little power that you gain. You deserve to be there. And again, it's annoying and I just don't want to root for you. And while I did like the sound effects, the design of those frog noises, which I spoke of earlier, which was thrilling initially, it ended up not paying off at all, and that was very disappointing. And then overall, just with the series, this is being described as a drama, mystery, and thriller. And not that much. It's just not. Because at some other points, it's kind of hard to take the series seriously. And that goes back to the antagonists that I did say I like hating, but at the same time, they are goofballs. If you just look at their uniforms themselves, it's like, okay, where are y'all coming from? Did you get this? It just doesn't seem professional. Like the characters are just too random. It doesn't seem like there's any structure behind them at all. And so I was thinking, okay, is this supposed to be somewhat of a comedy as well? Like some SNL sketch or something? I don't know, but it was just weird seeing them and I'm not able to take them seriously. But then jarring when at least one of them was getting abusive, like I said earlier. And one of the main things I didn't care for and was a distraction, and I may lose subscribers for this or get canceled, but I'm just going to be honest with you. It goes back to the character of Alex and their gender and or sexual identity. Now in real life, Mae Martin identifies as non-binary, but in this show, the character identifies as trans, person born as a woman transitioning over to a man. Now, let me preface what I'm about to say is that I have no problem with trans people at all. They're human beings and I feel like they deserve the same love, respect, and protection as everybody else, no more or no less. I also have no problem, no issue at all with trans people being in TV and film. Trans people exist in real life. They've always existed in real life and they will always exist. And so it wouldn't make sense if they was never in TV or film. So I want to stress that I have no problem with trans people being in movies and television. The trans character Alex that was written for this show was very, very distracting. Even before I started watching the series and I saw the trailer, married to a woman, the woman is having a baby. Well, I'm asking myself, how is that possible? I just don't know. Was the surgery performed and they got all the male organ parts and then they was able to conceive a child? I don't even know if that's possible. I could do research and find that out, but if I'm just going into a show and wanting to have a good time and just have some random entertainment on a Friday night, am I going to want to do that, or is the average audience member? I think the answer is no. Also, in this series, there is drugs, there is sex, there are a number of things that give it an R or TV MA rating, and one of them is sex. And I will say that at one point when Alex, the character that's trans, was having sex, it did make me a little uncomfortable. I didn't know what I was getting into. Now, that may seem extremely childish and immature, and you're probably rolling your eyes and raging on the keyboard right now, cussing me out. But again, I'm just being honest. I did not know what I was in for. I mean, how am I supposed to know? I don't know if I was going to see a penis. I didn't know if I was going to see a vagina. And the thing about it is, while I'm saying this made me uncomfortable, or it was a bit weird, the characters in this series as well were not 100% comfortable with the relationship dynamics that they were even a part of. You have Alex, the trans man, and Laura, his wife. They're in bed together, cuddling, and he says, oh, you know, there's not that much stubble on your face. Well, I guess I have to increase my dosage of the hormones. And Alex proceeds to say, wow, I guess you never imagined that your husband would look like Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone, looks like a little boy. So is their relationship new? Is this something that they are just trying and experimenting? Because they don't really seem that confident themselves. Like, we just gonna give it a try. We're gonna give it a shot. I'm just like, okay, what the hell? What am I supposed to think? You know, like, I mean, you deserve to be happy in a loving relationship, but you don't even seem like you're comfortable yourself. To me, if you're gonna give me a trans character, just make them normal. Like, make them feel like they're normal. Make the audience member, me, feel like the character is accepting of themselves and it's just no big deal. Because if the characters make it a big deal, I'm gonna make it a big deal. If they're confused, I'm gonna be confused. And even if they weren't confused, I would still be confused. And if you can tell, I was confused. And I'm not trying to be funny or crude or rude or anything like that. Again, I'm just being honest with you. And then again, it's also just a dialogue with other characters as well when they're trying to express what their gender and or sexual identity is. I mean, just keep it real and be straight up. Like, have just a stranger go up to Alex and be like, hey, you know, what's your pronoun? Oh, it's they or it's he. Okay, cool. I just want to get it right. I don't want to mess it up. And then go on with the conversation. Or if you wanted to stretch it even further, have Alex respond like, oh, wow, you know, I'm not used to that type of engagement. I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate you going out of your way to be respectful and to try to address my pronouns correctly. Oh yeah, man, ain't no doubt. You know what I'm saying? You know, I love everybody. And then go on with the conversation. That's just like a straight up genuine encounter. But the way they wrote it in this series, it's just like, okay, no one is going to talk like that when they're getting to know each other, when they're strangers. And I'll just give you one more example. It's obvious that I'm black. I'm a black American. I'm an African American. If I start a new job and my boss is white or a different race and they say, hey, you know, Juneteenth is next week. Or, you know, MLK is next Monday. It's like, you know, okay, like, why are you making it weird? That's what they're doing. Hey, guys, I want to let you know that this is Alex, the new cop in town, and he is going to be over this department. Yeah, you see how I said he? They're doing stuff like this, and I'm just like, okay, wow, this is silly, and you know, I really don't like it. So it is very unfortunate that the only character that I did like, Alex, again, which was hilarious in this series, and I think it was unintentional, is that I'm distracted by the gender identity. And in my opinion, you just kind of missed the mark there a little bit. You did a great job, but again, just kind of missed the mark as far as that's concerned. Yeah, but the people of Tall Pines is crazy, and there is something dark and sinister going on, and it is somewhat satisfying, but at the same time, I did want a bit more. Out of all the 8 episodes, if you can survive to episode 7, I think you can make it, because episodes 7 and 8 are the best. And it's always better to end a film or series on a good note than start it on a good note and end on a bad. But there is abuse, there is blood, there is death, there's drugs, lies, and manipulation. And when it unravels, some of it is interesting, some of it pays off, but at the same time, it is slightly anticlimactic. And unfortunately, it's just not a series that I can recommend. If you want to watch it, feel free, but I just did not enjoy this. Me talking about it right now feels like work. I'm not really having fun doing this. And that's just because the series just wasn't that great. It missed the mark, and maybe my expectations were just too high. I will go ahead and give my rating for this at the very end, but I will say, guys, that it is not trash. It's not garbage. It's just not for me. But guys, that is just my opinion, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did like this video, if you liked the review, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Help me reach my next milestone of 75,000 subscribers. Leave a comment. It really does help. And if I had to rate the Wayward Netflix miniseries out of a 1 out of 10, unfortunately, I would give it a 5 out of 10. Yes, a 5 out of 10. The main characters were just unlikable. The one that you did like, there was a heavy distraction, and it just did not pay off at the end. And too many moments where it was just a little goofy unintentionally to where you couldn't take it seriously. Guys, thank you again for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget, I'm B. Avery. That's just my opinion. Peace. I'll see you next time.